Can you sell a tax deed property? Welcome back. In this episode, I'll answer your question, can you sell a tax deed property? Now, my name is Ted Thomas, and I've been involved in real estate for a long time. But the last 30 years, I've been involved in tax lien certificates and tax defaulted property. Now, for the last 25, I've been teaching other people and guiding them and helping them make money at auctions. And I'm going to show you a lot about that in this video and other videos on the channel. I want you to be perfectly clear, this is legal and it's ethical, and it really helps people in your community. For example, when you buy a tax lien certificate, you give money to the county. That helps them pay the county employees. You also allow a property owner to stay in their property and not get evicted, so they have time to recover from a sickness or a loss of job. And when you do get paid on the tax lien certificate, you're going to get a check from the county. What's better than that? You get a check from the county and you earn an outrageous amount of money. But our question today is, can you sell a tax deed property? So there's more than one kind of auction. There's tax lien certificates, where you buy for pennies on the dollar, or there's tax defaulted property, which are tax deeds. Now, the tax deeds mean they're actually selling you the property, and they're selling it at a huge discount. And I'll discuss that as I go along. So there's tax lien certificates that will pay high interest rates, but today we're talking about, can you sell a tax deed property? In other words, after you bought it, could you sell it? The answer to that is you definitely can sell it if you buy it right. So I teach people to buy it low and then sell it low. So I'm going to talk to you about that in the next few minutes. But I want you to know, when I finish this video, I'll have a gift for you that will tell you a lot about tax lien certificates and how to profit, and it'll tell you a lot about tax defaulted or tax deed property, where you can buy for 60, 70, and 80% discounts. Now, in the last part of the video, I'm going to tell you about two mistakes that not only experienced investors make, but investors that are brand new make. You don't want to make these mistakes at the auction, so I'll show you how to avoid them. I'll be right back. Well, for most investors, the name of the game is make money purchasing bargain properties at tax defaulted auctions locally. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a property with a huge discount. We're going to try and buy it low, and we want to sell it high. Well, I say buy it low and sell it low so you can sell it quickly. So the point is, you need margin. And where are you going to get better margin than a tax defaulted property? Now, these properties are sold, and they're called tax deed auctions. Tax defaulted auctions where they sell a tax deed. Now, there's over 3,000 counties in the United States, and there's another 1,400 municipalities. They all sell tax defaulted properties, and they do that at bargain prices. Now, everything is up for grabs at these auctions. It's people that haven't paid their taxes. So it could be a small office building. It could be a large office building. It could be a home. It could be agricultural property. I'm sure you get the idea. Anything other than a school or a church can be sold at a tax defaulted auction. Now, the real estate's been defaulted. That means they haven't paid the local taxes. The law in the United States and every state requires property owners to pay property tax. Now, why on earth are they paying these taxes? Well, I'll tell you why. The local county has a lot of responsibilities. First, they have to pay the county employees. And county employees include the police department, the sheriff, includes the firefighters. You're getting the idea. What about the school teachers? They all have to be paid. That comes from property taxes. So if people don't pay the property taxes, how are they going to build new schools? How are they going to pay the school teachers? How are they going to take care of trash pickup? How are they going to take care of the courts? So the local property taxes need to be collected. So what happens? Well, basically, the local government, not just the county, but the state legislature, will authorize the county treasurer to, number one, levy taxes, number two, to collect those taxes, and number three, if they can't collect the taxes, to confiscate the property. That's right, they seize the property and then they resell it. And they resell it for a bargain price with no mortgage. And that's how you end up with a tax deed. What they actually sell is a deed to that property, and the starting bid at those auctions is usually just the back taxes and a few fees. Now, if the county can't collect the money, they're in trouble. Why are they in trouble? Because they need money to run the government. So the solution is, and it doesn't come from me, it comes from the state legislature and the county, or the board of commissioners make it all happen, is you pay your taxes or you lose your property. It's as simple as that. the local government will be authorized to not only seize your property, but they'll put it up for auction and they will sell it at a public auction for the highest price they can get. These auctions sell properties at 60, 70, 80% discounts. I've seen 90% discounts at these auctions. So what we're talking about today, the question I'm answering is, can you sell a tax deed property? Well, you bet your life you could do that because you're buying at absolutely rock bottom with no mortgage, and you don't have to sell it high. You can sell it low. Buy it, make a small profit, and move it out. So the government needs that money. So they're not interested in asking a high price. They're interested in getting the property back on the tax roll. Now, why did they want it on the tax roll? The tax roll means the treasurer is going to get income from that property every single year because taxes are due every year. So if people aren't paying taxes, they confiscate the property, they sell it to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder then will be paying taxes. Now, I didn't make these rules. The legislature of the state made the rules, and then they mandate the county, the board of commissioners, to make sure that the taxes are levied, then they're collected. If they can't collect them, the local county will confiscate the property. Sometimes they have that tax defaulted auction right on the courthouse steps, and you can go and watch them. All right, so what's the objective here? Well, the objective is they want to get properties back on the tax roll so the treasurer can collect money annually, all right? So they're going to sell that property at rock bottom dollar. It's not unusual for properties to be sold for 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 and 30 cents on the dollar with no mortgage. Now think about that. You're buying a property with no mortgage. All right, now the treasurer is the most powerful person in government. They not only have the power to seize your property and sell it, but they also have the power to delete the mortgage. So when you buy at a tax defaulted auction, the mortgage is deleted. It's wiped out. Now, do they take that mortgage and go rip it up? No. The person that signed it still owes it, but it's no longer on the property records. So when you buy a tax defaulted property, there's no mortgage and the title is clear. Many of the other liens will drop off the property and judgments and liens will drop off. All right, now how do people know about the auction? You know about the auction because it takes place at least once a year in every county in America, and they announce it in the newspaper and they put it on the website. And when they do that, anybody can attend the auction. The only thing that you need is get yourself there and have money to buy. Now, do not bid at an auction if you don't have money, because if you do, you're going to have a visitation from probably a district attorney and the sheriff. Your auction rules require that you go and have money. You're not there to disturb the auction. And you'll probably find that there will be sheriff deputies at all of these auctions. All right, now when the property is sold at public auction, the new owner will owe taxes, but the new owner will have purchased the property at a 60, 70, 80, sometimes a 90% discount, and there won't be any mortgage. Now, this is a perfect business for entrepreneurs and for maverick investors that are willing to look at alternative investments. This is an alternative investment. I didn't create it. It was created 200 years ago. It's mandated and it's executed by local counties, all under the authorization of the state legislature who makes all the rules. All right, now I have seen properties discounted and sold at 93% discounts from the tax assessed value. That means the person paid 7 cents on the dollar, or 7%. Now, folks, if you can buy a property for 7% of value, I'm sure you could sell it for 27% or 37% and make a profit. The point is, this is a profitable way to make money. What do? You have to clean it up if it's used and abused. Some people like to do fixer-uppers. I don't like to do that. I buy it low, then I sell it low, and I move on to the next one. This is a business of abundance. There's always too many properties. Always too many properties. So auctions take place every single day. Some counties will have auction every month. If you went to Houston and Harris County, you would see they have an auction every single month. If you went to the counties in Georgia, every single month. But most states will have only 1 or 2 auctions a year because they don't want to have a volume of them. For example, a small county with a small rural population, by that I mean a small population, not a small county, but a small population, might only have 10 or 12 at the auction, whereas a place like Los Angeles will have as many, just Los Angeles City now, and city and county, not the whole state, they will have as many as 1,500, even 2,000 properties that they're selling for the back taxes with no mortgage. Now, there's plenty of other videos within this channel that you can learn about that. Okay, So what does Walmart do? What does Costco do? Well, they sell at low prices. How do they do it? They buy low, they mark it up a little bit, and they sell it lower than market. So then they move on. They're specialized businesses. Walmart does it, Target does it, Costco does it. All of those are thriving businesses. That's what people want. They want a bargain. If you want to get bargains, you need to go to the tax auction as compared with a real estate foreclosure auction. Tax auctions are conducted by the county. The foreclosure auctions are usually conducted as a result of a bank bringing a lawsuit. Okay, so where do you want to buy? You really want to look at the tax defaulted auctions and the tax lien certificate auctions. Okay, so I'm about to button it up. I just need to tell you it's not unusual for a $100,000 property, tax assessed value at 100, to sell with a 70% discount. Now, here's what challenge people have. Everybody likes to watch television. If you're watching fixer-upper shows, you need to give that a different consideration. This is not that business. Fixer-upper shows are entertainment, okay? This is not knocking down walls, having contractors run in and out, and a pretty girl out front introducing herself. This is hardcore business where when you go to the auction, it's going to be rough and tumble because the people there are street smart. They want to buy the property as cheaply as possible, and they either want to sell it quickly or they want to go in and fix it up. I recommend you sell it quickly and go on to the next one. There's plenty of this real estate nationwide. It's all over the nation. Okay, so I mentioned that there's 3,000 counties in the United States. That means there's going to be at least 5,000 auctions. Your objective should be, let's see if you can buy for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar with no mortgage. Now, you bought it with plenty of margin. So every property will have a tax assessed value. If you can get it for 20% of that, that leaves you 80% margin. 80% margin on a $100,000 house is $80,000. We're talking about a big money business. We're talking about a business of abundance. There's plenty of property for everybody. All right, now, if you got that much of a generous margin in property, you're going to be able to make money. So you don't have to take, if you bought it for 20 cents and go for the gold and get 100 cents, what if you only got a 20% profit? You'd still make plenty of money. My point is, there's plenty for everybody. Now, I'm going to take 2 questions before I finish today. Do I recommend timeshares? I'm not an expert on timeshares, but I can certainly tell you, if you want to find the counties that have a lot of them, start in Riverside County in California, and they will have literally hundreds of timeshares sold at tax auctions. So you don't want to pay retail price. You could buy one at a tax auction, and sometimes they'll have 2,000 or 3,000 of them that the people are just walking away from. What if you get the deed to the property and the people still living there? Well, you don't want to do anything. You just want to sit back, and you want to call the local sheriff, or you can do it with an attorney, and tell the local sheriff someone's living in your house and you want them removed. And they'll have you do some documentations. That's called an eviction process, and they'll evict that person for you. You don't want to go be confrontational. Now, I've had that happen to me, and I'm not confrontational with them. I just say to them, look, I tell you what, I understand you got problems, and you need to keep a roof over your head. I'm going to rent a property down the street for 2 months for you. That adds to my price a little bit, but I'm non-confrontational, and they don't damage my property. So give that a little thought. But it's just an eviction process that happens every day for rental people. It's not unusual. An eviction attorney probably charge you $500 or $700 to do that. All right, so I talked about 2 mistakes. All right, now the 2 mistakes that you want to avoid is, number 1, don't buy any property that you haven't seen. Why? What if there was a hurricane? What if it was next to a chicken farm? You would not want to own a property next to a chicken farm. It's going to stink. So you would not want. Why you wouldn't you want to own it? Because you're going to have trouble selling it. So it's going to make it a worthless property. All right. So the other mistake is you don't want to bid on any property, number 1, that you haven't seen, but number 2, that you haven't figured out the exit strategy. In other words, you need to know what you're going to sell it for before you buy. You don't want to say to yourself, I think I'll buy this and hope I can sell it high. No, you want to know what you can sell it for, and that'll control your bidding completely. Okay, so my name is Ted Thomas. Free gift for you below. Nice to meet you.